This is Travel in 10.
And now, your host, David Brody.
This is David Brody, and welcome to the first Travel in 10 podcast. The concept behind Travel in 10 is to take you on a quick 10-minute tour of some of the world's most interesting destinations. We'll be exploring festivals, concerts, restaurants, nightclubs, galleries, and attractions from around the world. The first series of podcasts, Tokyo in 10, will introduce you to the world's biggest city. We'll be exploring where to buy cutting-edge Japanese gadgets, where to find a sushi restaurant open at 4 a.m., and some great spots to get away from it all in a city filled with karaoke clubs and neon lights. We'll be doing this with a series of audio guides and soundscapes, letting you listen in and find the most interesting destinations for yourself. There's no shortage of things to see and do here. We hope you'll come along with us for the audio ride. Welcome to Tokyo. Well, for our first Travel in 10 podcast, we thought it would be appropriate to take a look at where to buy the latest in MP3 players and digital cameras here in Japan. I think a lot of people, whether they're short-term business travelers just here in Tokyo for a few days, or perhaps a new resident to Japan who's just arrived, one of the first things that a lot of people look to do is find that next-generation iPod or that mini digital camera that you can only find here in Japan. I've been coming to Japan over the last 8 years, and the first place that most people recommend for electronic shopping is Akihabara. Akihabara is known as an electronics district, but I think Akihabara has really faded a bit in the last few years. Although you'll still find any laptop computer you could ever imagine, or the newest in cell phones in Akihabara, and lots of electronic shopping, I don't think it's the best place to concentrate your time if you've only got a few hours to spend. I think the best place for the latest new technology and good pricing is Ginza. Now, Ginza might be a place that people are surprised to hear suggested because it's normally associated with the world's top designers. It's where you're going to find the Dior or Chanel showrooms and a lot of the most expensive shopping in the world, and that's what most people associate Ginza with. But in addition to this, you'll find two great showrooms for electronics, both Sony Japan and Apple computer showrooms. And if you're looking for something cool, these are the places where you're going to find it. Particularly at the Sony showroom, you're going to find a lot of stuff that doesn't even make it to market. This is new experimental technology that they're really showing off to the public for the first time and seeing what the reaction is. And both stores also have things for sale, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend them as the best places to buy. But luckily, either from Apple Computers or the Sony showroom, you're only about a 10-minute walk from Yarakucho. Yarakucho is where you're going to find two of Japan's biggest electronics stores, SoftMap and Bic Camera. And these are the two of the flagship stores that you would go to if you were in Akihabara anyway. Two enormous places where they have ton of selection, and being right across the street from each other, you'll be able to compare pricing. So that's where we're going to start our exploration today. We head off for our audio tour of gadget shopping in Ginza. Okay, we're starting today's audio tour at the Ginza metro station, and basically wherever you're staying in Tokyo, you should be able to get here by subway. There's 3 metro lines that run through the station: the Hibiya line, the Ginza line, and the Marunouchi line. So any of those will take you right here to Ginza. And once you arrive at the station, as you come up the escalators, you're going to see a number of signs pointing towards all the different exits. What we're looking for is exit A9. A9 is going to take us straight up to where the Apple store is and where we'll begin today's tour. Okay, as you come out of exit A9 at the Ginza station, you should see if you're facing the right direction, you're going to see a Mikimoto Pearl store on the left-hand side of the street where you're walking, and a Matsuya Ginza store and a UFJ Bank over on the right-hand side. And if you're facing that direction, then you know you're going the right way. So we're here on the first floor of the Apple Ginza Superstore, and Apple's just launched the iPod Nano about 2 weeks ago now, so that's definitely the number one thing that's on display as you come in on the first floor of the store. Coming up to the second floor of the Apple showroom, you're going to find one of the things that's really cool about the design of the building. It's all done very futuristic design. They've got sort of stainless steel everywhere and very futuristic look. And the elevators coming up actually don't have any buttons on them. They just stop at each floor on the way. It's only 4 floors, so it's kind of neat. As you go, you just step in the elevator and away you go. And coming up to the second floor here, you're going to find a couple of things. They've got a number of iBooks and Mac Minis here. And they've got them hooked into all kinds of different peripherals so you can test them out. And also here on the second floor, they've got what they call their Genius Bar, where they've got 4 or 5 technicians always on duty. And as you reach the fourth floor is the last floor you can get to by the elevator, and they've got, again, a series of iPods up here, all kinds of different speaker setups that you can purchase as well. And they also have a section with internet access. So if you're only in Tokyo for a few days and you're looking for somewhere to be able to send an email home, they've actually got webcams hooked up to each of them as well. So you can come in and try those out as well. Okay, well that's pretty much it for the Apple showroom. So now we're going to head to our next destination on the audio tour, the Sony Japan showroom. And basically, when you come out of the front doors of the Apple showroom, you're going to turn right and head back in the same direction as we came from, back towards Ginza Station, back towards exit A9. Once you reach the corner here, you're going to see a Sapporo beer and Nissan sign up on the left-hand side of the road, and a Vodafone sign up on the top of the building on the right-hand side of the road. Where you see the Nissan sign is actually a Nissan gallery where they're showing off some of the newest Nissan models here in Japan, and worth checking out if you've got some extra time. But rather than that, we're just going to go ahead and cross the street over to the side where you see the Vodafone sign, and once you hit the other side of the street, we're going to take a right-hand turn and just head straight up Ginza 4 Chome Street. Okay, so as we keep proceeding up the street, it's going to be about a 3 or 4 minute walk, and you're eventually going to come to a fairly busy intersection. And on that intersection, you're going to see a Toshiba store on one corner, and directly across from the Toshiba store, you should be able to now see the Sony building. So that's where we're going to head down. When you first look, it doesn't look like it's that impressive a showroom. It looks quite small, but it's actually a bit deceiving. As you come up the stairs to the right-hand side, you're going to see it opens up into a much larger gallery and goes up for several floors. Right now, they've got on the 3rd floor a whole series of MP3 players on display. They've got a new 20-gigabyte hard disk player that isn't even on the market yet, but you can come here and try it out, listen to it, check it out. And they've also got some of the Sony high-capacity mini-disc players. So another thing that you're going to find they've got set up all throughout the Sony showroom are a whole collection of home theaters where you can sit down, relax, and take a look at some of the best Sony TVs that they're putting out right now. And they've got a couple that are connected to their new, what they call Sony Location-Free TV, where essentially it's a box you hook into your cable box and your DVD player, and then you've got this little tablet-type PC that you bring around with you, and you can essentially use that to stream your television signal wherever you are. Okay, so another thing they've got here in the Tokyo Sony showroom is their new Aibo dogs, and they've actually got 2 different models. One that I've actually seen a few places before. I've never seen one in real life, but seen it on the internet or on television before. But they've got a new model here that looks almost more like a teddy bear. It's got like a full face with different facial expressions. It makes all kinds of noises and things. They've got it decorated up for Halloween right now with a pumpkin on its head. Other than that, I don't know what these actually do. They cost about $2,000 US, it looks like, for a robot dog that it can shake and fetch and do all kinds of things. Will it actually fetch the stick? It looks like it found it.
Yeah, this one.
Okay, so that shows you what he's seeing.
Yeah.
Is that ever cool? The ball's got its attention now.
He said something.
Trying to kick the ball. Okay, so continuing through the Sony showroom, one of the final stops along the tour will be the PlayStation 2 section. They've got a whole pile of interesting things here. They've got one room full of all different PlayStation games you can play, a whole section of the PlayStation 2 portable games that you can try out as well, and the new PlayStation iToy as well, where essentially it lets you stand in front of the screen. In a fighting game, for example, you just sort of face the camera and punch, and your character on screen will punch as well. Having come out of the Sony showroom, we're going to go back out the same doors that we came in, the main front door to the Sony showroom. And as you come out, you should see right in front of you again the large Toshiba sign and a big clock on the building directly across the street. We're going to take a right-hand turn and just go straight up the street. Okay, so as you continue on with your 10-minute walk up the street, we're coming on Nishi Ginza Dori Street, is the street that you should have been walking on. And about 8 to 10 minutes up, you're going to see a Wendy's hamburger place. That's the corner that you want to stop on. And once you've reached the Wendy's hamburgers, you're going to turn to your left, and you should see a HMV store straight across from you. And we're going to head in the direction of the HMV store. Now, just across the street from HMV, about maybe a half block up the street, is where we're going to find SoftMap, the first of 2 stores we're going to. On the same side as HMV, but about 2 blocks up, is where Big Camera is. And between these 2 stores, we should be able to find virtually anything you'd want to buy while you're here.
So just coming into SoftMap, the first thing you're going to see is both their TVs, their DVD players, and their cell phones. Now, unfortunately, a cool section to go check out. Lots of interesting new models that you won't see in North America. Unfortunately, in all three products, it's going to be things that are difficult to get to work back in North America. The cell phones are really only made for the Japanese market. Same with the televisions. Their signal tuning is a little bit different than in North America, so you're not going to have much luck with those. And some of the DVD players, some are region-free, but a lot will only play DVDs that were encoded for Asia. But just past that, you're going to find the MP3 player in the camera section, and models of MP3 players and cameras that you certainly never would have seen before elsewhere other than Japan, and relatively good pricing. You're not going to find things here any cheaper than you would elsewhere necessarily, but just newer and different models than you might be able to find elsewhere. And one of the great things with SoftMap is the entire store is just on one floor, so it's easy to find around. It's not too huge like Bic Camera that we're going to be going to next, and it's pretty manageable to be able to find anything that you're looking for. Okay, so coming out of SoftMap now, we're just going to come straight out the front doors, and basically if you just head to your right, you're going to continue, there's an underpass that you're going to walk under, and as soon as you come through the underpass, you should see Bic Camera just across the street on the left-hand side. It's a huge building, Bic Camera in giant white and red letters on top of it, so it's pretty tough to miss. Okay, so now we arrive at our final stop on the tour, which is Bic Camera. And basically, if there's any electronic goods that you were looking to purchase while you were here in Japan that you haven't been able to find anywhere else, you've got to be able to find them here at Bic Camera. They've essentially got 8 floors plus 2 basement floors filled with electronics. Bic Camera here really is sort of the low-cost leader in Japan. This would be the equivalent of like Future Shop back in Canada or Best Buy in the United States. This is really sort of the big all-purpose electronic shopping store that you're really going to find some of the best pricing you'll find anywhere here. Now, Bic Camera also has a lot bigger selection. I'm just noticing here, looking at MP3 players, for example, they've probably got about twice the number of models that they do over at SoftMap, and a lot of things that I didn't see at SoftMap. Also got a lot of personal video players here, a little sort of the new Creative Vision. They're selling for about $320, about the same as an iPod. About the same size as an iPod as well, but plays video as well. And they've also got the Oakley Thump sunglasses, which are essentially Oakley sunglasses with an MP3 player built right into the sunglasses. They've just got small headphones that come in off the arms of the sunglasses, and looks like it's about 256 megabytes for just over $500. Okay, so as we reach the 7th floor here at Bic Camera, there's a great thing that if you're ready to stop off at this point, coming straight off the elevator right in front of you is a teppanyaki restaurant, where essentially you can cook Japanese food yourself right at your own table. There will be meat and vegetables. There's sort of a barbecue-type grill in the middle of your table where you can cook yourself, and it's quite reasonably priced. And right next to that, there's a Chinese restaurant here as well. So not only can you buy virtually any electronic you can imagine in the world, in addition to toys and golf clubs and watches and vacuum cleaners, rice cookers, they've also got a restaurant here as well. And the great thing about finishing our tour here is from here you can take the escalator right down to the bottom floor, and you're right into the Yarakucho subway station and can connect anywhere in the city from there.
Thanks for listening to the Travel in 10 podcast. Please email any questions, comments, or suggestions you have to travelin10@gmail.com. This has been a presentation of Travel in 10.